Hi crafters, and welcome to Creative Moments by G. I'm G and it is Technique Tuesday. We are going to show you a card that is so creative, can be used for gift cards or to create a scene inside your card. So let's head down to the crafting table and let's get started. Okay, here is the card that we're working with. Now you can turn this into a Christmas card, but you can also turn it into other kinds of cards. Happy birthday, celebration, and that's what we're going to do today. But look at the inside. You see how we have these two little columns right here, and it holds a gift card. But you don't have to just use this for a gift card. Imagine the possibilities. You could put a scene right here, and then you could also put some images on the front to create almost a diorama. So as you are watching me make this card, think about all the possibilities. There are so many. And make sure you stay with us to the end because I have two additional cards to show you that are not Christmas, but that are beautiful gift card holders. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing I want to do is show you my process for selecting colors. Now, I know I want to use this scene because I think it is so beautiful. And I want to use that on the inside of my card. So I want to make sure that my color coordination is just right. So I go ahead and I start picking out my cardstock. Now this is going to go on the front, and I know I'm going to have a circle, right? Because here's the circle for the front of the card. So I want to make sure that my color coordination is perfect. So I have decided on this palette. And I want to remind you that all the materials and supplies will be listed over on our blog on creativemomentsbyg.com. And while you're there, sign up for our newsletter. So the first thing we need to do is decide what color card we want. I think I want a very vanilla card. So let's go ahead and take out our trimmer. And I know that a top fold card is 11 by 5.5 cut at 4 1/4. Let's just grab a piece of cardstock. We already have it 11, so I have it this way. So the next thing I need to do is go ahead and score it at 5 1/2. So I'm going to move my cutting blade out of the way. I'm going to score it, and then I'm going to cut because this gives me two top folds, and I can save one for later. So I'm just going to go to 4 1/4, and I'm going to cut. And now we have two top fold cards. And I'm going to bring that trimmer over to the side. I'm going to bring in my bone folder, and I'm just going to give these a good crease. Now, for this top part that I'm going to have right here, I want some layers on it as well. So I know that I'm going to cut this the full length of the card, and I want it to be a little smaller than normal. Normally I cut this 2 inches, but I'm going to go ahead and cut it 1 3/4 by 5 1/2 because I want it to go the entire length of my top fold. Now I need a coordinating color, so I'm going to go ahead and select this right here, this beautiful color. Now I just want a very small border right here on either side. So I am going to just make sure this is 5 1/2 because I want it the entire length of the top fold. But instead of 1 3/4, I'm going to make it 2. And this will give me an 8 on either side of that tab that we already have. Now look at that. Look at how pretty that looks. just makes this pattern paper pop. And so I am going to put this right on the front, just like that. So let's bring in our adhesive. Let's get our pattern paper laid down. Now we are going to make 2 cards together. This one we are going to cut everything together so that we can see exactly how it works. So let's get that. And now I'm ready to just lay this down on top of my top fold. And because I'm going to set up my circles, I want to go ahead and just lay this down flat. Now look at that. We already have a very interesting front mat, right? Now on the inside of this card, this is where I want my design. I want it to be right at the top just to really make it pop when you open it up. And I know that I want it to be a first mat. So we need to cut it 4 by 5 1/4. But I want this part right here. So when you have something like that, you need to go ahead and start cutting it just a little bit. We know we need this to be 4. So I can actually use that piece on a later card. I'm going to put that to the side. And I'm going to see where we need to cut it now. So I'm going to move this and cut it right at 4. And I know that the height of it can only be 5 1/4 because I want it to be a first mat. So we know that this is 6. So now I can go ahead and cut off just a little bit of the bottom and I have it exactly how I want it. So let's go ahead and bring this in, open it up, and this is how it's going to lay down. Look at that beautiful seam, just gorgeous. So let's go ahead and lay that down. Okay, the next thing we want to do is create our little columns right here, our little boxes, so that we can set our gift card up. Or remember, if you want to turn this into a diorama, you can add some images here and also right here, but you still need these boxes. So let's go ahead and create those. And I want to go ahead and create those using this cardstock. And this is called Misty Moonlight. So we're going to need 2 pieces of paper that are 4 by 4. So let's just go ahead and cut those. And we need to do some score lines. So we're going to score at 1, 2, and 3 on both pieces of paper. And this is going to create our box. So let's do that again. We're going to score at 1, at 2, and 3. Now, we also want to go ahead and create our little sleeve, our little gift card sleeve, which is so incredibly easy to create. So let's grab a piece of paper and we're going to extend our arm on our trimmer and we are going to cut a strip that is 2 inches by 7 1/2. And we are going to score, the first score line will be at 1/4 inch. And then we're going to move it on over to 3 7/8. Now look at how this creates the little gift card sleeve. We go ahead and we crease that. This tab goes right over. So let's go ahead and crease that. Crease this one. And we're going to glue it just like that. And it creates your little gift card. Now, if it bubbles a little bit, go ahead and just give it a good crease. Get rid of that. Now, we want to go ahead and decorate this front panel just a little bit. And I think we're going to tie it in with this. So we need to go ahead and just cut a very small little rectangle for this area. Let's cut this 3 3/8 by 1 3/4, and make sure that if you have directional paper like I do, that you use the right dimensions. I wanted our lines to go up and down vertical so that it could match the front of the card. So we are just going to add this right to the front, just like this. And we are going to use a very small punch, a 1-inch circle, to just create an area that they can really grab onto that gift card. We're going to use a tape runner to give us a little bit of glue right there. Just going to put this down and we're going to fold it over. You need to create this sleeve before you put your two boxes together because this sleeve goes right in between them. So now we're ready to go ahead and create our boxes. So let's bring in our bone folder, give everything a really good crease. These are so easy to create. Okay, now watch how we do this. We lay this flat and here's our middle score line, right? We go ahead and we put our tape runner or tape at the top and at the bottom. And then we fold it in half like this. So we have our sticky part on the front and our sticky part on the bottom. Bring in your card and that's how you lay it down. The sticky part on the top and the sticky part on the bottom. Go right up against the center score line all the way up and close it. And look, you have your box created. Works perfectly. Let's do that again. Let's take our piece of paper. Let's put glue on the top and the bottom. You can use your tape runner. You can use adhesive, a tape runner, whatever you want. Fold it in half. You have your sticky part on the top and your sticky on the bottom. Now we are going to put this right up against that other box, right at the bottom. Go right up to the edge. And we're going to take our gift card holder and we're going to put a little bit of glue right here on this back box. We're going to lay it down right how we want it. Make sure it's right side up. Just like this. And now we have this one ready to go. We're just going to fold it over. And now look at that. You have your gift card perfectly. We have our boxes. It closes perfectly, opens up to see a beautiful scene. Look how pretty that looks. And now all we have left to do is create our beautiful decoration on the front, and then we need to stamp our message down here. And on this one, This is going to be a Happy New Year card. So we're going to bring in our Knight of Navy. Tap, tap, tap. Just going to put Happy New Year down here. Now we are going to cut our circles. Now I wanted 3 circles, so I have a deckled ring, and really the rings depend on what image you want on the front of your card. So I have selected 3 that will give me just a very small border, and then I will have a message right here. So I'm going to go ahead and cut these out. Now, I'm going to stamp this one. Just some very masculine colors. And look at this. I'm using Like the Sky. And I'm going to use some of these right here just to give it some interest. And then I'm going to put Let's Celebrate right across. Now, let me show you a trick on getting your stamp lined up. When you have a small stamp like this, or even another one that has a sentiment, what I do is I turn it the way I want, and then I line it up using my grid paper, or if you have a grid mat, and then I go ahead and I put it slanted on my acrylic block. I don't know, that just helps me do it a little better. So I'm going to stamp that in Knight of Navy, and then I'm going to stamp around it using those beautiful fireworks. And I'm bringing in Balmy Blue for a smaller firework. And now we can put these together. So I'm going to use dimensionals. So let's go ahead and put the blue one on first. I'm going to bring in my card, and I'm adding this to the front, and I'm going to set it up on dimensionals as well. Now, if you are sending this in the mail, you'll probably want to go ahead and just use glue and lay them down. But if you're going to take this to a New Year's Eve party, you can go ahead and raise it up on dimensionals as high as you want. Okay. We have created our first card. Look at that. Look at those colors. So easy. And yet when you open it up, not only do you have a gift card, but you have this beautiful scene in the background. A beautiful wintry scene, and wishing you a Happy New Year. Love this card. And remember I said think about all the possibilities? Take a moment and leave a comment. What possibilities are you thinking about? Instead of a gift card, what are you thinking about doing with this design? Now, our next card, we are going to use a new stamp set, and it's a celebration stamp set. So when the new stamp sets come out with a Stamping Up in January, if you spend $50, you get this free. And I'm going to show you how to stamp these two together so they're just so pretty. So I have already cut out everything so we could just get this put together very easily. We have cut out some beautiful crumb cake paper and we've turned it into our top fold. We went ahead and we cut out Starry Sky as our cardstock just to add some interest to it. And we cut out this beautiful pattern paper. So let's just go ahead and glue those together. And you can see how easily this can be put together. Once you have everything cut, let's just bring in our silicone mat. Get this laid down. Once again, we only have borders at the top and the bottom. We're going to lay this right on the top. Just glue it down. And then look at the paper we have decided to use. We cut out a circle. Isn't that gorgeous? We're going to go ahead and set it up just like that on some dimensionals. And we picked Old Olive cardstock to complement it, and I think it really makes it pop. So let's just go ahead and get this laid down on the front of our card. And remember, all these measurements are over on our blog on creativemomentsbyg.com. And if you haven't followed us, take a moment here on YouTube and subscribe to our channel and also follow us on our website. So make sure that you have this right because this is certainly directional. We're going to lay this down just like that. Look how pretty that looks. The next thing we're doing is we went ahead and we scored our gift card holder. We're going to go ahead and just bring in our tape runner and get this little tab glued down. And remember, if it bubbles a little bit like this, bring in your bone folder and just go ahead and give it a good crease to where it lays flat. Look at this beautiful paper. That's from the front of the card. We just used a small piece and we're going to lay that down. Going to make sure our borders are the same all the way around. Going to bring in our little punch. We're just going to slip this right in. And there we have that. Now we're bringing in our 2 pieces of paper right here for our boxes. So let's go ahead and get those creased really well. Now, remember how we put these together. On this one, we're actually not going to have anything on the back. We're just creating a very quick card. So we're bringing in our tape runner and we're putting the tape on the top and the bottom. And now you take it, fold it in half, and your glue is on the top and on the back. We bring in our card. But before we do that, we're very quickly going to lay down our inside mat. Because we will be stamping on this. Okay, now back to our box. Go up to where the score line is at the top of the card, lay it down, and then fold it over. And there we have it. I'm going in and just making those crease lines a little better, a little stronger. We have it folded over, you open it up, and we have our box. Now remember, we need to put this in next. So go ahead and just put a little bit of the tape runner right there. You can also put it right here on the back of at the bottom. We're going to line this up right at the bottom of that box. So that we have it right at the bottom. And see how it's there? So now we're going to bring in the next one. Going to put tape at the top and the bottom. Fold it in half to where you have your sticky part at the top on both sides. And now bring it right to the bottom of the box. Hold your card in place and fold this over. And open it up. And there you have it. Look at that. Now we're going to stamp right here, and we are also going to stamp. Now, because I laid this down first, I'm going to just use a little masking. So I'm going to put this right here so that we don't get it on the card at all. So that's why it is a good idea. It is a good technique to go ahead and stamp your mat before you put it in the card. But we are using, like I said, this wonderful two-stamp process, and I want to show you how pretty it is. We're going to use Old Olive for the leaves, and then we're going to use blue for the flowers. So I'm bringing in our leaves first. Tap, tap, tap. I'm going to go ahead and use Starry Sky flowers. You line up this little bitty bud right here. So let's tap, tap, tap so you can see it better. That little bud right there goes right here. And there you have it. Look how pretty that looks. Now we need to go ahead and stamp a sentiment on the inside. And we are going to stamp "You're in my thoughts." So tap, tap, tap. Gonna bring this right here. Look how pretty that looks. Look at this. That's the inside. Now we need to do a little something right here. So I'm just going to open that up, and we are going to stamp "Hello there" right in the corner. And there we have our second card. Look at that front. I love this sentiment. You open it up, you have your gift card, you have your beautiful flowers. Here are our two cards for today. Now we have the Christmas one, of course, and if you are interested in seeing us make this, go on over to our YouTube Shorts and you will see this card being created. Now remember I said I have another card to show you. Look at this one. Look how pretty that looks. So pretty. We added some leaves here, some gems. You open it up. This time we added something on the bottom. You could go ahead and write your sentiment on the back, but look at that. We added some leaves right here on the gift card holder. And finally, look at this one. Look how pretty. This is from a new stamp set. Wishing you everything wonderful. We added this pattern paper and we used our blends to color these flowers. So take a moment and let us know which is your favorite. Well, thank you so much for spending your time with us today. We hope you were inspired a little bit. And if you were, take a moment and subscribe to our channel, like and share with your crafting friends. Maudie and I want to wish you a fantastic day, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.